So I've been asked to provide some advice to would-be filmmakers or filmmakers, and I want to start off by saying what advice I don't think you should take to heart, which is just go make a movie. It's gonna be great. You've got important things to say, and sure, if you want to have a hobby, that's great. But if you want to try to do it for a living, I would try to incorporate patience into your routine. So understand, and this is not original, so this is me telling you something that you already probably know. There are way too many people out there making way too many films for any of us to ever see, even the good ones. And so the competition is crazy. It's also extremely difficult to get people just to pay attention to your project, however good it is. So trying to get people to spend the 10 minutes it would take to evaluate something and reject it properly even is difficult. So I think my advice would be very honest with yourself about what project, what timing, when you feel like you have something that you can legitimately say is worthy of turning into a real movie. And I'll define a real movie as something that strangers would want to pay to see. That's a really high bar, in my opinion, to cross. And certainly anything you make, it's still gonna be up to the mercy of whatever the whims of the potential audience is. But really try to think about whether or not the project, the people involved with the project, the scale that you're aiming to do it for from a budget standpoint. If you put all those things together and you throw it out there into the world, is it going to be anyone's first choice as what they're going to watch at some point? Because you got to beat out everything that's free on Netflix and everything else from Marvel that's at the box office or whatever else. And so if you're not someone's first choice, they're going to watch their first choice, or maybe they'll watch their second choice because they've already watched whatever their first choice would have been. So at the end of the day, make a movie and put it out there, and do what you can. But I would just say make sure that you've really been honest about whether or not this is the project, this is the time. I know for me, my assumption was that I would get one chance to make a film that required investors, because I only knew so many people that, over a number of years had kind of worked their way into my orbit that I thought might be willing to invest in a project like this. And so I knew that if I did a project and it failed miserably, that would be the only shot I would probably get. So that doesn't mean that I won't still fail, but it means that I was wanted to be very confident that there was no rush, that I took whatever time I needed, wrote however many scripts I needed to before deciding this is the one that I feel comfortable going to people and asking for their hard-earned money for. So.
I'm actually looking at the camera right now.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Which is obviously what you don't want to do in a self-tape. You all know that already. So probably all the actors in Atlanta follow the casting directors, they go to the classes, the self-tape rules, which is great and important. I also like to say though that rules are made for breaking. So some things that I like to do with self-tapes sometimes is know the rules, know what it should look like, obviously plain background, good lighting, good sound, but also if they say chest up or shoulders up, to maybe not actually listen to them, because that this is a really intense scene and you need it really tight so that they can see everything you're doing. Or maybe you've decided you're going to add some movement to the scene. And so you make it wider so that you can actually use your body in the audition. I had a friend that got hired on a really big show because she basically wore a costume, and that's a big no-no, is to don't wear costumes. So don't. But at the same time, sometimes there are just these little things that are going to make you extra into it and extra showing that you understand the character and the script and the material. And so like every now and then break a rule, but don't tell anybody I said that.
Let me jump in there, because if I don't know what the rules are for actors, but as a director watching the tapes, definitely, like, if this isn't a rule, do something interesting, like do something different than make a choice. Make a choice.
Yeah, that's a big rule.
Okay, so that's a good rule, and then change it totally for your second read. Show me that you can do something totally different with it, and not just the same thing.
Oh, okay. I have a question then, since we're here now.
Okay, raise your hand.
So, did you ask for 2 takes for your thing, or did the casting director ask for 2 takes? Because often it doesn't happen. It's often like you send 1 take, but you got 2 takes for a lot of things.
Yes.
And a lot of people would send
themselves
doing
maybe
the same thing.
Maybe it's not always possible in a self tape. But if you're ever in a room, if you're ever on a Skype audition or anything like that, like, show them you can do something different.
Yeah.
You know, if you have to, maybe you just change like halfway through.
Yeah. Like
start half of the read and then just change it completely so that you seem like you don't know what your choice is. That's a good way to break a rule.
Well, I think because people ask for your tapes, and then you're basically supposed to send 1, but every now and then, and like breaking a rule could be just go ahead and send 2, like send 2 different files. But yeah, like, no, of course, do not send yourself doing the same thing twice. Like, shows another choice, another aspect of the character that you can bring to it.
Yeah, I care a lot more about whether you have range than whether you read this line the way that I ultimately think the character would say this line.
Mm-hmm. Or that you're just a robot.
Yeah, robots are fine. Robots would be really
a lot of
great.
directors want robots.
Are they providing those yet? Because that would be wonderful. And then
no, they are taking our jobs. Like, as we speak, they're taking our jobs for sure.
That's good.
As is CGI and all those other things. But anyway.
That's good. Now I'm more optimistic now than I was.
No. Next time you'll be fine. You won't even have to use.
I won't have to tell you to make your various faces.
Yes.
Okay, that's